Right now on Upfront.
Controversy over TikTok.
It's very addicting.
New calls for Wisconsin officials to ban the popular app.
TikTok should be banned.
In minutes, one-on-one with Congressman Mike Gallagher, his alarming warning.
TikTok is digital fentanyl, addicting our kids.
As Republicans prepare to take control of the House. Then the Brewers breaking barriers.
You know, there's those layers of thought that come with the excitement.
The team's new female chief operating officer, Marty Wronski, now part of a small group of top female MLB executives, what it means for the future of the league.
And gas prices dropping. The new analysis from AAA, the Wisconsin impact just days away from the start of a busy holiday travel season.
Taking on the issues important to Wisconsin. This is Upfront.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. More delays reported this weekend in those ongoing negotiations between the Biden administration and TikTok.
And now more states are taking action. Just this past week, Indiana's Attorney General sued over safety and privacy concerns. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan and Texas Governor Greg Abbott becoming the latest banning the use of TikTok on state devices. And now Wisconsin's Republican congressional delegation is urging Democratic Governor Tony Evers to do the same.
Congressman Mike Gallagher is proposing a nationwide ban. He's standing by in moments.
But first, more on the growing debate. TikTok's appeal is undeniable.
It's very addicting.
And whether scrolling to see what others have posted or being a content creator themselves, the app has young people hooked.
Sometimes I'll find myself trying to get homework done and I end up in an endless scroll of TikTok watching different dances or World Cup videos or things like that.
With content for just about anyone, the popular video sharing app surpassed 1 billion users in its first 5 years.
I think it can be harmless, just people making funny videos, so I got no problem with it.
Seemingly, though, since its inception, major concern from U.S. officials.
All of these things are in the hands of a government that doesn't share our values.
FBI Director Christopher Wray just days ago.
We, the FBI, do have national security concerns about the app. Its parent company is controlled by the Chinese government, and it gives them the potential to leverage the app in ways that I think should concern us. They also have the ability to collect data through it on users, which can be used for traditional espionage operations, for example.
State employees, government employees, military personnel. That's pretty concerning from my perspective to be thinking about what content is being collected and how that might be used.
Cybersecurity and social media experts like UW's Don Stanley have expressed mixed views about TikTok's current threat, both for the average American and the U.S. government.
The challenge is what content is being fed to you, and they're calling it amplifaganda, which means propaganda that starts to get amplified. So you start to get fed pieces of content that are more likely to be persuasive to you that could be, and this is, I think, a major concern, that could be in the best interest of the Chinese government.
TikTok's chief operating officer recently testifying at a Senate hearing, telling lawmakers, including Senator Ron Johnson, the company does not share U.S. data with the Chinese government.
As we've said on the record, we do have employees based in China. We also have very strict access controls around the type of data that they can access and where that data is stored, which is here in the United States. And we've also said under no circumstances would we give that data to China.
Governor Tony Evers' administration says the governor does not maintain a personal or official TikTok account. And while the governor's re-election campaign did, officials say it wasn't accessed on any state government device.
We don't have an official TikTok page for the Lieutenant Governor's office. But I will say, I mean, we need to take these things seriously, and, you know, whether it's any sort of cyber threat, I mean, these things are very real, but, you know, they should be focused on delivering for the people of Wisconsin. That's something they haven't been doing. They rather play politics.
With that, let's bring in Wisconsin Congressman Mike Gallagher in Washington. Congressman, good to see you.
Great to be with you.
You are calling for a nationwide TikTok ban. Do you anticipate this comes to the House floor in January?
Well, I think we're going to have a bipartisan bill when we introduce it next week. And then I think we're going to go through a process of public awareness. We're going to hold hearings. We're going to collect co-sponsors. And so I don't know if it'll come to the floor in January, but we're going to make the case that this is something we vote on pretty early on in the next Congress. There's a lot of Republican support. We're slowly bringing our Democratic colleagues along. And I think the more people learn about, the company that controls TikTok, the more concerns they have. And ultimately, who controls that company is the Chinese Communist Party. And that's not someone we should trust with our data.
You mentioned bipartisan legislation. What does the Democratic support look like at this point?
Well, I'll have a lead Democratic co-sponsor. My colleague in the Senate, Marco Rubio, is working to get a Democratic co-sponsor. Senator Mark Warner has expressed serious concerns about TikTok, said Trump was right to begin the process of trying to ban it. He said also, however, that he wants to let the Justice Department weigh in on a process that's undergoing right now, a CFIUS review process. So once that's complete, I think we'll have a better chance of bringing Democrats along. So we got some momentum right now. We just got to build on it.
This past week, you and other congressional Republicans in the delegation called on Governor Tony Evers to ban TikTok from state devices. Have you heard back yet from the governor's administration?
No, I think there was some suggestion by one of his staffers that we should have called him. Listen, I'd love to be able to call the governor. He's never, reached out to me. We haven't had a delegation meeting in 4 years, so he can call me at any hour of the day or night. I'd love to explain to him why this is such a threat, and I think he has an opportunity to lead by example. And I think your average Wisconsinite needs to understand that we're not just talking about silly videos of teenagers dancing around doing dumb things, right? We're talking about a company that's owned by ByteDance, which is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. That gives them not only the ability to track your location, track your keystrokes, basically create a dossier on you that they could use for any purpose in the future to blackmail Americans in the future, but also increasingly, since a lot of people now rely on TikTok for news, it gives the Chinese Communist Party the ability not only to censor information, but use the platform to influence which issues Americans learn about, what information they consider accurate, and what conclusions they draw from world events. It's also highly, highly addictive. There's no transparency around the algorithm. It's why FCC Commissioner Brennan Carr called it digital fentanyl, and it does present a risk, particularly to our kids in America.
As you know, TikTok's chief operating officer recently told Congress that the company doesn't store U.S. data in China or share it with ByteDance, the Chinese company that owns TikTok. Do you have evidence to the contrary?
Yeah, we've seen this play out time and again where, a good example would be Huawei, right? Huawei made the exact same argument when we were having a debate over 5G. However, in China, there's no such thing as a private company. Owing to a national security law starting in 2017, at any moment, the Chinese Communist Party could demand that ByteDance collect that data from TikTok. It's even Chinese Communist Party cells embedded within ByteDance. So for them to say nothing to see here, it's not a problem, it's not happening, I think is belied by the very structure of the organization and what we've seen in other contexts when this debate was had over 5G.
This past week, Kevin McCarthy appointed you chairman of the Select Committee on China when Republicans gained control of the House in January. What is your first move on that committee?
Well, I think the first move is going to be to build the team. We want this to be a group of serious, sober members that are in it to get stuff done, not to just get clicks or get on TV. So I'm really working with Kevin McCarthy to identify the roster of who our best members are going to be, and also reaching out to the Democrats to ask them to participate this in good faith. Kevin McCarthy tried to get the Democrats to participate in the China Task Force, which is the precursor to all of this. They refused. I don't understand why they refused. We're hoping that they don't do that this time. And I want good, serious, sober Democrats to be part of this effort. It doesn't need to be a partisan issue when it comes to securing America, when it comes to making sure we win this existential competition against the Chinese Communist Party. It doesn't necessarily need to be a Democrat or Republican theme. So building out that team, building out a staff, and then identifying sort of the plan for the hearings that we're going to hold and the legislation we're going to prioritize is my job over the next few weeks.
What are the first type of hearings and legislation you would like to see?
Well, I'd like us to do an overall hearing with some serious people, really explaining how we got here. How is it that over the past 3 decades, really in bipartisan fashion, we made this massive bet on Chinese integration of the global economy that failed, that did not moderate their behavior. It only caused them to become more aggressive. Because I think understanding where our assumptions were wrong, understanding where we went wrong over a long period of time, and understanding the nature of the regime we're dealing with in the Chinese Communist Party under Xi Jinping's rule is essential to understanding where we go from here.
Fair to say you are backing Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker?
Yes, I am.
All right, a busy week in Washington, another busy week ahead. Congressman Mike Gallagher, we appreciate your time like always.
Thank you.
Up next, the Brewers breaking barriers. Our new conversation with Marty Wronski, Major League Baseball's only woman COO.